Hello my wolf pack and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Competitive Guide video. So today we're covering Galarian Articuno. Galarian Articuno, probably the best of the trio. It honestly is pretty fantastic. It's got a couple of different ways that it can be used and it's got a couple of fantastic moves as well. So today I've got 4 sets, 3 generic and 1 dynamax, and we're just going to jump straight in. Obviously there are no previous videos for this one, so if you want to go and check out any other videos, I recommend checking the description down below. There are a few playlists of different competitive guides that can help you out. Okay, so Galarian Articuno, the first set I've got is a Throat Spray Hyper Voice set. Throat Spray allows for you to get 1.5 times extra in your special attack, and Hyper Voice activates that, so it's really quite handy there having that combination, allowing for you to get a +1 in your special attack stat, whilst also attacking the opposing Pokemon. Obviously, do be cautious of Ghost-type Pokemon because they can come in against Galarian Articuno quite easily, so do have a think about that before using it. We've got Freezing Glare, which is Galarian Articuno's signature move. It is base 90 in its attack power and 10% chance to freeze the target. Then got Hurricane. Hurricane, powerful flying type attack, boosted by Stab. Now, if you're running like a rain team, for example, Hurricane is a really good move to have on different Pokemon. So if you had Politoed running Rain, for example, that can work very nicely for you. However, if you don't like the idea of Hurricane because it does have the chance to miss when it's not in the rain, you can always go for something along the lines of Air Slash if you want to. Again, it does have the chance to miss, but it's much less likely to miss. Hyper Voice, I've already explained why that's on this set, and it can also just hit a variety of Pokemon. Do be cautious with Galarian Articuno and things like Steel types. They can be problematic for you because you can't really hit them very well. And also potentially... no, I think it's just Steel types. I think it's just Steel types that you're going to have a problem with Galarian Articuno, so make sure in your team you have something to deal with that, or maybe 2 things to deal with that. Recover is a fantastic move as well. It allows for you to heal up. It is the only Galarian bird that gets a healing move, which is fantastic. Well, not fantastic, but fantastic for Galarian Articuno. Allowing for you to heal up 50% of your health. Now, when you're dwindling down, when you've got that +1 in your special attack, having that recover can obviously be very helpful for you. EVs gone for max HP and max special attack with a modest nature, so more special attack, less attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. You could also go for max special attack, max speed with a timid nature. So you go for a timid nature if you wanted to. It's entirely up to you what you decide to go for that, whether you want a more bulky version that can live a few hits, or whether you want a really fast version that can start to break down some different Pokemon. Obviously, base 95 speed is not the best speed in the world, so do be cautious because a lot of Pokemon will outspeed Galarian Articuno naturally. Second set, I've gone for Heavy Duty Boots. Now, you don't have to go for Heavy Duty Boots on this set. You could go for something along the lines of Leftovers or a Citrus Berry or basically any assortment of berries. We've got Competitive as the ability, and Competitive is the only ability that Galarian Articuno gets. It will allow you to get a +2 in your special attack stat if one of your stats is lowered by a foe. So, for example, an Intimidate user comes in against you, it lowers your attack stat, and your Competitive activates, allowing for you to double your special attack, which obviously at 383, taking that up to over 700, like 766, I think it is. That is absolutely huge. That is absolutely huge. So, lots that can be done there. Move-wise, we've got Tailwind. Tailwind allows for us to double our speed, which can be really helpful for Articuno. As I said, it has got that little bit lower speed, and it can also help the rest of your team as well, so you can switch out, get something even slower in. So, for example, Conkeldurr comes to mind, and you can use that to your advantage. You've then got Air Slash, which is a powerful flying type attack. It's a variety of different Pokemon, boosted by Stab. Freezing Glare again. I think you're going to have Freezing Glare on probably most of your Galarian Articuno sets. There's one example where I can think you won't have it, and that is later on in this video. And finally, Recover. Recover allows for you to be able to come in, set up that Tailwind, allow you to heal yourself up around those Tailwinds to make sure that you are nice and healthy so you can keep on setting them. Now, there is always the option to go for Agility here if you want to. You can take away the Tailwind, go for Agility. If you're just wanting to focus on Galarian Articuno and doubling its speed, that is entirely up to you what you decide to go for, but you can work that out yourself, what you want to do with your team. EVs, there are a couple of ways of running this. So you go max HP, max special attack with a modest nature, so more special attack, less attack. You could also go for max special attack, max speed. Again, I would just go for the modest nature. I think with the timid nature, you don't need to go that when you're doubling your speed as well. It's just not needed. You could just go for some investment in speed as well. So you go for like 120 investment in speed if you wanted to. but you'd have to kind of work out what other Pokemon outspeed that. So, for example, things like Tapu Koko, Regieleki, which has like base 500, not base 500, but it has like 500 speed, which is absolutely huge. So, just be considerate of that when you are planning, because Regieleki is probably going to be breaking the meta, especially when it comes to things like flying types. Next set we've got is a Calm Mind set. So Calm Mind allowing you to increase up your special attack and special defense by 1 stage each time you use it. Got Leftovers to allow you to heal yourself up, because you are probably going to take a couple of hits with this. Again, competitive is the ability, because that's just all it gets. I've put Psyshock on here. Now, Psyshock can be really good because it goes on the defense as opposed to the special defense. So if you had a Blissey coming in, trying to stop the freezing, I can't remember what it's called, the freezing glare, then you go for Psyshock. That allows for you to be able to potentially take out that Blissey because its defense is very low. Air Slash is another attack. Powerful flying attack. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Oh, there we go. And then Recover, allowing you to heal yourself up, because as you're setting up this Calm Mind, you can set up potentially 2 or 3, and then have that Recover there option to allow you to heal yourself up and keep setting up. Eevee's gone for max HP, max defense with a bold nature, so more defense, less attack. And the reason I've gone for this is to allow for you to have as much defense as you possibly can, because you're going to raise up your special defense. It makes you overall a lot more tanky and allows you to live a lot more hits as well. You could always go for max HP, max special attack if you wanted to, but I would definitely recommend going for the max defense instead. And finally, we have a Dynamax set. So on here, I've put the Psychic Seed. You don't have to go Psychic Seed. You could go Terrain Extender. You could go for an Assortment of Berries. You could even potentially go for like things like Choice Specs. But that's up to you what you decide to go for. Now on here, I've got Expanding Force. This combines up really nicely with the Psychic Seed or the Terrain Extender. So Expanding Force, when you Dynamax, returns a Max Mindstorm, setting up the Psychic Terrain. And when you're back to normal, that Expanding Force then becomes 1.5 times power. So that allows for you to be able to set up your own Psychic Terrain and do a lot of damage to a lot of different Pokemon, especially when it's boosted by stat as well. Then I've got Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice is just a really good coverage move here as well. You could again go for the Hyper Voice Throat Spray set if you wanted to on this scenario, but that's entirely up to you. Hurricane, when you Dynamax, goes to max Airstream, allowing you to set up your speed as well. Obviously, with base 95 speed, being able to raise that once or twice is going to be very helpful for you. And then finally, I've gone for Ancient Power, just in case, one, you want to set up a Sandstorm, so you have like Slush Rush or Sand Rush users in the back, or you've also got the opportunity to set up the Sandstorm, just get the chip damage, especially on things that are running Focus Sash as well. As I can see, potentially things like Regieleki, because it's so frail, I can see that potentially running Focus Sash a lot to allow it to live another hit. Eevee's got max special attack and max speed with a modest nature, so more special attack and less attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. That is all for Articuno. If you've got a different set, please let me know down below. Anyways, that is all for today. I hope you've had a good one. Please do like, subscribe, and comment. Comment a different set if you have any of them. And yeah, that's going to be all today. So thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.